Super Bowl champions.
Throw the dagger. Hurts going deep for it all. Devontae Smith.
Position in the pros.
Hurts lets it go. Complete A.J. Brown.
The Philadelphia Eagles have won Super Bowl 59.
Great job, coach. You too, brother. Good job. We're world champs. World champs.
Senile owners.
There's a huge topic of conversation right now is the Micah Parsons trade.
Jerry has been in the headlines a lot lately after deciding to trade Micah Parsons to the Packers.
We did think it was in the best interest of our organization, not only the future, but right now, this season as well.
And franchise-altering rookies on either side of the ball in the oldest roster in the league. The NFC East is home to some of the most heated rivalries in all of pro football, and the stakes have never been higher. Nothing would be sweeter for Dallas, New York, or Washington than catalyzing Philly's Super Bowl hangover as the Birds have their eyes firmly fixed on a repeat. No team has won back-to-back division titles since 2004, the longest streak in league history. And now with everything to lose and regional pride on the line, it's safe to say that 2025 is going to be an absolute bloodbath in the NFC East. Now, I'm actually going to start somewhere that most people wouldn't start in the NFC East. I'm going to start with the New York Giants, who surprisingly might actually be feeling a little bit of joy for the first time since Vanilla Vic sliced it up in the wildcard round. Joe Shane and Brian Dable have been on the hot seat ever since they won just 3 games last season, while they sat and watched the man they let walk in free agency win the Offensive Player of the Year award. The silver lining though, New York had an Offensive Rookie of the Year candidate in Malik Neighbors and may have just found their quarterback of the future. And that's the thing too, the Giants were considered one of the biggest winners from the 2025 draft, and with pretty good reason too. Not only did they get the Micah Parsons regen and Abdul Carter at 3rd overall, but they traded back into the 1st round with a 2nd and 3rd rounder from 2025, as well as another 3rd rounder from 2026, and with their newly acquired 25th overall pick, they selected Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss, one of the more exciting developmental quarterback prospects available in a fairly shallow class. And yes, trading back into the 1st round without having to give up a 1st rounder of your own is a pretty sweet deal for Shane and co. But furthermore, New York will have the opportunity to exercise a 5th-year option on Dart, which is an invaluable safety net for a player who is as young, raw, and promising as the rookie quarterback. The last time this organization dipped into the well of Ole Miss signal callers, it did go pretty well for them also. From everything he showed in the preseason, Dart has the goods to become New York's next franchise quarterback and is set to learn behind Russell Wilson, who effectively mentored Geno Smith in Seattle. The rookie has also been placed in the best possible situation to succeed. No pressure to start his first year, just learn behind a seasoned vet. New York's other high-profile rookie joins a much more reputable unit as Abdul Carter is an automatic starter who is similarly impressive in his small bits of preseason action. Carter's going to be surrounded by elite talent up front in Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeau, and not only does this alleviate pressure from the rookie to hit the ground running, but it also means that he should be able to have plenty of one-on-one looks to exploit. And that's the thing too, behind him, the offense has pretty much been revamped as well. Brian Burns is a leader in the linebacker room, and with the arrival of Javon Holland and Paulson Adobo should drastically raise the floor of the Giants secondary. And let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, Giants fans, because let's be real, the odds of them running just the tables in the NFC East I meant, it's fairly small. You know, we're not going to sit here and say that they're going to be NFC East champs because they're probably going to be far from that this year. In fact, the Giants have the toughest strength of schedule in the entire league and are clearly in the midst of a rebuild. But with the GM and head coach fighting for their jobs, they'll be worth keeping up with in 2025. Their floor is a lot higher than it was last year, but don't be surprised if they generate some momentum down the stretch, as the injection of youth to this offseason has given the Giants an X factor that could enable them to put up a few more or just a few fair upsets. Okay, now I know we all have this one friend that, remember last year, the one friend that hit a 5-leg parlay in week 1 and basically wouldn't shut up about it all season long last year? Well, yeah, this year it's going to be you. We're going to make sure that happens. And the way we're going to do that is with MyBookie. MyBookie makes it stupid easy to get in on the action. College football, NFL, super contest, and even survivor pools. They have all the spreads, player props, and in-game lines you could want all under one roof. And now look, of course I have to get in on the action, so guess what I'm going with? Thursday night, we're taking the Eagles, ladies and gentlemen. They're gonna cover 9. We're gonna do it right here. We're taking them -9. I'm gonna head over to my bet slip, accept all odd changes, and guess what? I'm feeling pretty confident in this right now. We're cashing out, baby. $100 to win 90. Continue betting. We are riding with the Eagles. If you tail me, let me know. I'm feeling like they can cover the -9. It's opening game, Super Bowl ceremony. Cowboys are going through a lot of stuff right now, losing Micah Parsons. I think the Eagles are going to get it done. So I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm taking the Eagles. Let me know if you're going to tail that pick, or tell me if I did a completely dumb thing by betting them -9 and you think the Cowboys are somehow going to cover week 1. I don't see that happening. Jalen Hurts and the boys are going to get it done in their Super Bowl ceremony. And the best part is if you're new to MyBookie, use our code and any bet you choose up to $500 is fully covered. Like truthfully, make your play and if it doesn't hit, you get it right back when you opt in using your bet back bonus token. There truly is no better time to jump in and no better place to play at. Football's back, so let's make some money with MyBookie. And again, thank you to MyBookie for sponsoring today's video, and let's get back into it. But probably going to one of my favorite teams we're going to talk about today and just everything that they've been through is America's team, the Cowboys, who have had a turbulent offseason to say the least, so they'll be plenty entertaining in 2025. Jerry Jones has made a meal out of signing his stars in recent seasons, convinced he's playing 4D chess while CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, Trevon Diggs, and now DaRon Bland are laughing all the way to the bank. And it seemed par for the course when Micah Parsons, who was up for his second contract, came to blows with the owner this offseason. And that's the thing too, his eventual trade request was just a negotiating tactic, well, until it wasn't. When Parsons was traded to the Packers for D-tackle Kenny Clark and 2 first-rounders, it thrust the Cowboys' 2025 season and arguably entire sporting project into disarray. There had been long questions around Jerry Jones' capacity to run the football team, but the failure to re-sign Micah Parsons has seen him universally criticized for his handling of a contract dispute. And that's the thing too, the edge rusher's absence could end up being quite damning for the Cowboys, as Garrett Podell points out. But if there was one weakness in Parsons' game, it was his run defense. And now with the arrival of Kenny Clark should boost that aspect of Matt Eberflus's unit. And although Clark might be on the decline, he still is a 3-time Pro Bowler renowned for his run stuffing abilities, who should still have enough left in the tank to upgrade a unit that allowed a league-worst 25 rushing touchdowns last season. Their second-round rookie also in Donovan may not be as explosive as Parsons, but there are high hopes for his debut season. With even more pressure for him to perform now, Dallas may have a new star in the making. And while speaking of stars too, the Cowboys have some of the most electrifying playmakers on the offensive side of the ball that could be the difference this year. I mean, hell, it may be doom or gloom for the defense, but with Dak Prescott back and healthy, out to prove he's better than those 8 interceptions he threw in as many games in 2024, the offense is a completely different story. CeeDee Lamb has been the heart and soul of this offense for years now, but he no longer has to do all of the heavy lifting. Yes, that's right. Dallas actually came out on the winning side of a trade, sending a 3rd and 4th rounder to Pittsburgh in exchange for George Pickens. Attitude concerns have been a theme throughout his young career, but his talent has never been in doubt. Pickens has everything to play for in 2025 and should have plenty of catches to make his case for a new contract with Dak Prescott throwing darts to him all year long. I mean, hell, especially if this defense is weaker in the early goings too, as DeMar Orvachon and Trevon Diggs work their way back to full health, these boys could be in their fair share of shootouts. That means there's going to be more targets for Lamb, Pickens, and Jake Ferguson, who's always better with Dak on the field. At best, they'll be a tough team to play against and a nightmare in the passing game, and well, at worst, they'll be a more entertaining dumpster fire than they were in 2024. Now, on to one half of last season's NFC Championship game. It's to evaluate whether or not the Washington Commanders can keep their momentum going into 2025. Unlike the Cowboys, Washington was able to resolve their star players' holdout, reaching an agreement with Terry McLaurin on a 3-year, $96 million extension. And yes, he may have missed almost all of the preseason, but when Terry is on the field, this guy is always a problem. Like Lamb, McLaurin was granted an opposite number via trade in the form of Deebo Samuel, and fitness was the big concern when it comes to the 49er, but Deebo's versatility and insanely high ceiling means that it's well worth the risk for Washington. As for the 2024 Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jaden Daniels, he's leading the way and there's no telling the levels of this offense that remain to be seen. Daniels is an elite threat both on the ground and through the air, playing with poise and efficiency in his first year that put every other rookie quarterback to shame. Fans are truthfully going to be expecting the same out of him, which is entirely valid given the extensive support system around him. Not only did GM Adam Peters trade for 5-time Pro Bowl left tackle Laramie Tunsil, but they also spent their first-round pick on Josh Cornerly Jr., who will likely be flipped over to right tackle whenever he's ready to start over Andrew Wiley. Then on the other side of the ball, Bobby Wagner re-signed on a similar deal to lead an improved defense in the nation's capital. Javon Kinlaw, Von Miller, and Dietrich Wise are all known quantities that have arrived this offseason and offer instant upgrades to what was an average unit in DC. They definitely don't make the team any younger though, but they're balanced out by an exciting crop of youngsters in the secondary, led by rookie Trey Amos and second-year Mike Sanstrill. With a healthy Marshawn Lattimore anchoring the DB room, the Commanders' defense can be reasonably expected to perform above average this year. For all the optimism, it is worth to note that Washington was the 8th toughest schedule in the league compared to last season's, which was ranked 16th. Also, a major sophomore slump for Jaden Daniels certainly isn't out of the picture either, especially after witnessing CJ Stroud's struggles last season following his rookie historic campaign. So who knows, they kind of could just be the same as last year, or possibly even some regression in terms of their record or season finish could be on the cards. It is important to remember that they are the oldest team in the entire league and were relatively fortunate when it came to injuries last season. They're no longer a surprise package, and teams have had an entire year's worth of film to digest since January. Without the same set of circumstances that worked in their favor last season, I fully expect the 2025 Washington Commanders to have a bit of a tougher run in 2025. But now look, who better to snap the 2-decade-long streak without a repeat division champ than the last team to go back-to-back, the Philadelphia Eagles. I was always going to save the best for last, but breaking this curse will be no small feat. For me though, I just think the Eagles are that good. They went 5-1 in the division last season, and it's tough to see them dropping far below that record given the quality they have across this roster. The offense is completely intact apart from right guard Mekhi Becton, but given how effortlessly Philly replaced franchise legend Jason Kelce with Cam Jurgens in 2024, I don't see that being much of an issue with Mekhi Becton being replaced also. The loss of offensive coordinator Kellen Moore does raise some questions around the sustained success of this unit, although the internal promotion of Kevin Patuo from passing game coordinator to offensive coordinator provides some semblance of continuity for Jalen Hurts in this offense. This is Jalen Hurts' 6th different play caller in as many years in the league, but change is nothing new to him. However, with A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Dallas Goedert to aim at, as well as Offensive Player of the Year in Saquon Barkley to hand the ball off to, there's too much talent across this Philly offense for them to fall flat in 2025. The defense, on the other hand, though, saw much costlier losses this past offseason. Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, Darius Slay, and CJ Gardner-Johnson were all huge factors in this team's Super Bowl run. However, Howie went heavy on defense in the draft, addressing the gaps left one by one with linebacker Jihad Campbell in the first, safety Andrew Mukabu in the second, and D-tackle Ty Robinson in the third. Judging by how prolific Roseman has been in the draft as of late, it's probable that we'll be hearing all of those names early and often this year. Philly does have a bit of a brutal schedule, but there's no denying that they are the deepest, most talented roster in the division by some distance. I fully anticipate they'll be frontrunners in the conference once again, as Nick Sirianni looks to build a dynasty in the city of brotherly love. But considering everything we've been over in this video, the NFC East has seen some of the most dramatic shakeups across the entire league. From reigning Super Bowl champs to era-defining trades and tantalizing rookie talent, it's one of football's most intense, chaotic divisions that will have it all in 2025.